Ryan, you're an interesting character. You've spent a bit of time overseas, and you've been back a couple of years. But you were quite prolific in making music overseas, but not so much here.
No, interesting you should say that the Mental Health Awareness Week. Music takes its toll on what you do and how you do it. And in the UK it was great. I met up with Asa at a recording studio, and he said, "Love your stuff. We need to do it this way." And yeah, I did a lot of recording and a lot of playing. But it wears you down, and when you've got a wife and kids to look after, and it's not paying those bills, it's very difficult to keep doing the 9 to 5 and then go out and be music guy.
Yeah.
So it does wear you down, and so in the end I had to push stop, and came back to New Zealand and really quite enjoyed relaxing and not doing anything until I went to this particular cafe called Drift Cafe near in Waikanae Beach near Wellington, and it was just one of those places I felt really comfortable. I liked the vibe, and I just, without thinking, I said, "Can I play here?"
Yeah.
And so I played every Sunday, and since then, I asked, "Can I record an album here?" And they said, "Yep." And then I decided to do it in support of men's mental health, and then I'm no longer sulking. I'm now playing music and recording again.
Yeah. So you got the blues for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the process of getting up and performing again, was that difficult at all?
No, it was
picking
amazing.
up the guitar.
Yeah, and it actually started. It started by picking up the guitar and playing covers. I've got a fairly extensive back catalogue, but it's really nice sometimes just to pick up the guitar and play the songs you grew up with. And that really broke the mold for me again. I started to do that and realised I'm actually not bad at what I do. I really enjoyed it, and I think there's a lot of people in the music industry, because there's this sense of making it. Have you made it? Have you been successful? And making it is usually being signed, playing here, playing there, making this sort of money. And when you haven't, when that's your goal and you don't live up to it, it's it can be quite disheartening. So. Yeah, I mean,
because it's hard to know what that goal is, isn't it? And I think you've just alluded to that. I mean, what actually is it? Is it signing that thing?
But now, the fact that I'm making this album in the next 20 days, the album is being made for me. I'm doing it because I want it. I'm doing it with Asa because he knows my music and gets the best out of me. We're going to do the best thing that we can do. But we're doing it because we want to, not because we want to be top of the charts. We're doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah. And
we're doing it, so that's great. But the fact that it can raise awareness for, I think, something that's a huge problem, wherever you go. But blokes, we're allowed to be stressed, we're allowed to be upset, we're allowed to be, pissed off, but we're not allowed to be unwell. And I know too many people through. I started out in radio and been in advertising and music. I know lots of people who have gone, who have suffered, and they've not gone to, if you break your arm, you go to the doctor.
Yeah.
But if you're stressed for a year, you just get stressed for a year. You don't go to the doctor and say, "Look, something's not right."
Yeah.
And so what this is about is just saying, look, it's okay to be not okay. And this album is being made with people who have had struggles with their own mental health, be it depression or be it grief, and for people just to realise that it is okay to be not okay.
Yeah, and talking about people that you've got involved, drifting the track "Drifting Tonight" features Mike Chun,
which is
as well.
He is the most inspirational man. I've met a lot of very cool people in music through radios, and entertainment, and there's something about that man that's he is so centered and supportive. I mean, we were talking about it, and I was hyped up trying to pitch the idea to him basically when we were meeting him, and he just stopped and said, "And God, it's a big project.
Yeah.
How are you?"
Yeah.
He actually stopped and asked about me, and it really floored me. He's one of those guys that cuts through the rubbish, and he agreed to come and play on the track, and to sit in the studio at Park Road Post in Wellington and have him playing bass was just. It was really special.
Yeah. Talking with Ryan Edwards, who's put together a track called Drifting Tonight, and by the sounds of it, an album on the way as well, with UK producer Asa Bennett, who's also in the studio. Asa, why are you so interested in this project and being involved in putting it together?
Well, I'm interested because it's a Ryan Edwards project and not a Ryan Reynolds project.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of Ryan. I met him in London, and we've done some recording. We've worked together in different capacities. So when he said he was making an album, I was I was ready to go, get on a plane. Quite happy to do that 2-week plane ride it takes to get here.
Yeah.
And also then when he said it was related to men's mental health, then I was all for that, because I think everyone of my age and probably everyone has some connection, with they either know someone who's had that or they've had some personal experience of it, and it is too easy to kind of gloss over that. It's quite hard for men to admit that there's something not right.
And it's a funny term, isn't it? Mental health. I mean, we've grown up since, if something's not cool, it's, oh God, that's mental.
Yeah.
We've done it. And it took me a little while when I started getting involved with this project. The first time I was saying it's done for men's mental health, I almost sniggered like a schoolboy. It's ridiculous. But I don't know if there's a better term. We've been trying to discuss it on the online network, the shameless plug, driftsessions.com, and we put some subjects up there. But I don't, there's one forum, what's in a name? Is there a better name than mental health out there? I don't know, but it is.
I mean, the condition goes under many names as well, like the black dog and as I said, the blues before,
the lowdown, that sort of thing.
Yeah. You said so. There's a community, the Drift Sessions. Tell us about that.
Well, the Drift, we started this up, and when when we were looking for a website for it, I wanted to create a network. And so we created driftsessions.com, and it's slowly gathering lots of really like-minded people who go on and contribute. And so if I put a subject matter in, such as what's in a name, much like Facebook, people will give their feedback. But I think what's nice about this and going forward is that, so we're going to do this album, but it's all housed on the driftsessions.com, and we want people to actually choose the track listing for the album.
Oh, cool.
We're going to put on
a voting sort of system.
Totally a voting system. We're going to put on X many tracks. We've got 40 songs to whittle down to 12, and there's going to be demos, acoustic demos, rough demos, a little bit more polished, and they'll be sitting there for people to vote on, and we will be taking that advice from it's not fans, it's people who are like-minded and involved. There's friends of mine, there's friends of people who have been in trouble with mental health, there's those that are struggling with mental health or living with. There's a huge mix of people coming together on that site. It's not even, it's in that community who are, I think, informing what we're doing.
So is the first track going to be available on that site? Or
It will be at driftsessions.com. It'll be uploaded today to be able to listen to, and then we're trying to get it into some stores ASAP. So, and that information will be on Drift Sessions as soon as possible.
Great. So this will be our first listen of the track. Really excited to hear this. The track is called Drifting Tonight. Ryan Edwards.
Thank you.
And Asa Bennett, thanks so much for coming into the Kiwi studio and telling us all about it.
Thanks so much.